Christian Ubbiali is coming from the sports sector, so this is now another corner, a different view on aspects we have to discuss here. With over 15 years of experience, he has developed strategies for numerous major international events. And he's working also at the Modon project in Abu Dhabi. So this is one of the bigger projects. They probably can be an example, a good example or not a good example, let's see, for that what we discussed this morning. So destination heritage or destination future. Christian, I give the floor to you, and the rest of the group I will present later.
Questo avanti e indietro? Questo avanti. Questo avanti. Ok, va bene. Hello everyone, thank you very much for having me. Such a fantastic day. I mean, I learned so many things, and I took the best out of the use of my mobile today, taking notes for the very first time, not having a hand note in my bag. But so many angles, so many very interesting points from your side to be embedded into future conversation, talking about that. I'm working in Abu Dhabi, coming from a major sporting federation experience. I was in FIFA before, so yes, I was in Qatar, and I was very, very involved into this mega event sports destination narrative that Qatar has contributed creating along with other major sporting events in the world. And I ended up in Abu Dhabi managing for a developer, the sports business. They basically said to me, Christian, put it on the map. So I said, okay, thank you very much, I will do my best. And that best was actually meeting some fantastic people, including Garavanzi, and do a mountain biking event, UCI Class 1 on an island, on a deserted island in the Middle East, which sounds pretty weird, but it was actually very, very good. Has generated over 32 million viewers in the world and help us to put Abu Dhabi on the map once again. And this is all about my presentation, which will be very short and very good for your digestion, because otherwise I will bothering you with numbers and projections about the business predominantly. But I wanted to go back to what David said. It said that, and by the way, David, where is David anyway? Oh, he's there. Oh, thank you very much. It was fantastic and also hilarious that you said that hard kisses and tears are the main business for airports, also for sports. But to meet our loved, we can wait only every given Sunday, and then we can meet there in a stadium or in a sporting venue. So we had a little bit of simplified lives. Anyway, starting with my 5 minutes, let me go directly on the highlights of this presentation. Sports business is growing enormously in the Middle East. The reason why is because the Middle East is a white canvas. There is just a little heritage. There is nothing really built. There is a little bit of history here and there, and there is just new content. You see Dubai, and given this elucubration on what the future is going to be, Dubai is a great proximity for us in Abu Dhabi, because it serves for a continuous lesson learned throughout the years in mistakes, great success, fantastic entertainment, and not so much legacy. So our leadership decided to point to sport as a main value for our promotion in terms of Abu Dhabi, as there are a lot of legacy aspects, including people, not only fancy facilities, that they play a big equation into what's going to be the future of that type of destination. Along with the sports, obviously, Sporting events are growing, and Middle East is, and GCC specifically, is definitely the biggest investor with the biggest growth in the last 5 years, and that's continue. Obviously, when we are talking about legacy, we are not talking about what's happened in the past or what is still happening around Dubai or Abu Dhabi or the Middle East in general. Meaning, hey, why don't we pay 10 million royalties to NBA to come along and play a couple of showcase matches? Yeah, and then the day after you have nothing. So you don't have legacy, you don't have, maybe you have some kids that are expecting, oh, I really want to be like that, but they don't have the chance to practice, especially in the summer because it's extremely hot. So the way we are doing business at the moment is not only creating world-class facilities, but is also creating an environment that really is really focused on building up the legacy, starting from grassroots, involving communities, bringing sporting events, yes, but also kids programs, also school programs, promoting health. Just to give you an idea, in the Emirates, we spend $6 billion in sending people abroad to cure diabetes. 6 billion is an enormous amount of money because obviously they had the best and the worst from us in the last 50 years, including fast food and stuff. So that is a bigger part that also goes into our mandate, which is create sustainability as in the support of wellness and developing the young generation healthier than the previous one. They have diabetes, they have obesity, and it's extremely challenging. Also in our industry, given the big role that things, for example, esports is playing at the moment, but maybe we will have the opportunity to talk about it later on. From a sustainability perspective, and these slides talk a little bit about it, and it's important to be focused on that aspect, as was one of the pillar for the conversation that we had in the morning session, right? So we have a fairly easy way. We are working with the major federations in the world, the international ones, including the IOC, FIFA, UCI, in bringing World Triathlon, World Athletics, and all of this bunch of lovely people. And obviously we are very, very facilitated in the role of creating and promoting and advocating for sustainable sports across what we do. The general certification, which is actually, back to your point, Dirk, is very, very good way to action policies. So obviously, as you are the promoter of the event, you are very well stimulated to do the best at this regard, to click the boxes and have the certification to be spent within your overall project. So it's very interesting, but obviously we have the IOC Manifesto 2020, which was for us pivotal. And I think that in GCC, we were one of the first entities to have our own sports sustainability mandate to be executed for our events, but not only. We also had a conversation about next generation, and this is very interesting for me because it's very difficult to get the Gen Z to talk about sports. It's very difficult to talk with Gen Z about what was the previous parameters of sports. For example, love a club. They don't love a club anymore, or they do that in a limited way. They love Cristiano Ronaldo, they love Lionel Messi, they love the assets that are around, and they are their idol more than the clubs. So it's also a pivotal moment to review the way we are engaging with the new generation to make sports even more accessible and even more popular in the country. What's going to happen in the next few years? That the Middle East will keep on investing into projects, into infrastructures, and into using sports as a pillar value to advertise themselves. We see what is going to happening in Saudi. We see what is going to happening in Qatar as a result of the World Cup, which obviously make the federation happy because it extends the profits on the event nearly the double respect the previous edition. So FIFA will be very happy. But I mean, you know watching Netflix, so you know how happy they are. And I knew as well because I was working in FIFA. So interesting conversation, but most and foremost, the Middle East is reaching a predominant role within the sport industry, given the investments, even changing the seasonability of some major events, pitching for more international events, but most and foremost from our side, to try really to build a tangible legacy in terms of infrastructure, in terms of people, in terms of a new way of life. And this is the point for us. And I wanted to conclude my intro here, otherwise I will go through numbers and numbers, as I said, not very good for your digestion. But sporting events are the top of an iceberg. Below, there is so much to do. What the Middle East is doing as a destination, and I really like the combination in between destiny and destination as we talk about future and futurable. Because at the end of the day, we want people to come and see how elevated is the life in the Middle East, and we want to have this. We want to have more popularity in advertising. Let me put it this way: a new level of society within the Middle East. So we want to use the destination, yes, to bring tourism, but also to bring potential residents for the future. And that is the game, the long game that the UAE leadership is playing across a very, very complex political environment in GCC. As 50 years ago, there were nomadic tribes affiliated in different ways. Now they are a very evolved society with very clear ideas, with investments coming from natural resources that they wanted to quit apparently very soon, and hopefully that's going to be the future, or maybe it's just it's just something controversial that we will listening on the and reading on the news. But most and foremost, the destination for what we are trying to build there is something that will help people to be more, to visit more our venues, our events, our sites, potentially create proximity with boarding, education, and convince people to spend as much as they can within our premises, with the only exclusion of the summer, which is obviously 50+ degrees, and nobody can live outside their houses. Obviously, what I just said is very limitative in the context of a very complex meta and a very complex region. But I feel that the power of sport can really change mentalities and support politics and policies to be endorsed and to be actioned. We see that several times, from London to Baku to Doha, and where, for example, our framework for workforce welfare was adopted for the national frameworks to give workers a better and safer working and living environment that can really help to support the destination, but also to support the future of all of us, given just a different angle to see things into perspective. Thank you very much.